Good evening and welcome to West Vancouver Memorial Library's Live in Your Living Room concert. My name is Taryn Urquhart, and I'm the Art and Special Events Programmer here at the library, and I'm so looking forward to tonight's musical guest streaming live from Toronto. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that the library is located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Squamish Nation, Tsleil-Waututh Nation, and Musqueam Nations. We recognize and respect them as nations in this territory, as well as their historic connection to the lands and waters around us since time immemorial. I would also like to acknowledge that Toronto is located on the traditional territory of many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. And a big thank you goes to the estate of Robert Leslie Welsh and to the West Vancouver Memorial Library Foundation, whose funding makes tonight's concert possible. And now on to our concert. The Slocan Ramblers were scheduled to perform at the library this coming March, but when the touring schedule was sidelined because of you know what, we came up with an inventive way to still bring their music to our community. Tonight's concert is streaming live from a Toronto studio, and I want to give a big thank you to Guillermo Sabaste, who has been helping the library with many of our online events all the way from Toronto, and making us all sound and look fantastic. The Slocan Ramblers have been creating music and touring together for almost 10 years, and their most recent album, Queen City Jubilee, received a 2019 Juno Award nomination for Traditional Roots Album of the Year. In fact, tonight, with the guys' help, we will be giving away a copy of their newest CDs from a list of all you out there that registered on our website. This band is known for their energetic live shows, impeccable musicianship, and uncanny ability to convert anyone within earshot into a lifelong fan. I know they are going to impress us tonight with their unique blend of bluegrass and old-time folk. So if you're at home just starting to make dinner, pour yourself a drink, turn the speakers up loud, because we are all in for a real treat. Enjoy the concert.
All right.
Yeah. Yep.
1, 2, 3. Well, you tell me that you're leaving, but you just don't want to let go. You tell me that you're grieving, know what we had before.
And you bring me down more.
And low,
And you build me up high. And you tell me no more.
no more.
Say goodbye.
It's fairly well, sweet honey. This is the last time you'll ever know my name. Trouble's welcome and your debts I won't cash in. For you've gone and borrowed love you can never pay back again.
And you bring me down more.
And low,
And you build me up high. And you tell me no more.
no more.
Say goodbye.
It's fairly well, sweet honey. This is the last time you'll ever know my name. Oh, thank you, folks. Well, we are indeed the Slocan Ramblers, and that was a brand new song called Bring Me Down Low. And it's so new, actually, that's not the official title yet, but that's the working title, as we'll say. And thanks for tuning in. We're going to play a whole bunch of new bluegrass music that we've been just over the past couple of weeks. We've all bubbled together and have been rehearsing a bunch of material for a new record. And so glad you could join us and hear some of our new songs. We'll probably throw a couple old ones in there as well. But we're going to get our good friend and sort of recent member to kick off this next one. This is one that I wrote called I Don't Know. And this is Charles James playing bass for you all the way in downtown Toronto tonight. And he's going to kick this this next kind of groovy number off for you. Well, your money's better spent hanging with a million other fellers than I hang around the likes of me. But if you count me as your pony, I'll be your little donny. I'll be as true as you are to me. You know they say I hold my cards close to my chest, but I'll show you mine if you show me yours. 'Cause you're the eye in my queen, you're the ace in my sleeve. I couldn't possibly ask for any more. In these past few years I hit the pavement and the beers ain't sure to take a toll on me. But you seem to keep me on track, always scratching my back and keep me safe from the storms of sea. I could be lying in bed and it's all in my head, about to wake up from the sweet memory. But if you happen to be real and you can touch and you can feel, I'd trade the world for you to be with me.
Looking up at a girl, looking down at the world.
I don't know what she sees in me. Oh! I always thought it sounded good to have a cabin in the woods with only me to hear my thoughts and prayers. I'd write a novel through and through and maybe an opera or two and perform it for the fox and the bear. I get the love that I need for the birds and the bees and the forest to be where I roam. What used to be a tiger in the reeds 'cause you cast your spell on me has been reduced to a kitten at home.
Looking up at a girl, looking down at the world.
I don't know what she sees in me. Well, you say you never trust a man who doesn't know how to dance, but you hung around enough with me to ask me all the 30 questions to get to know a person. So just tell me now, what do you see? Are you looking for a sequel in the jungle of my mind that you can't wait for me to show? 'Cause I promise my last words as I'm dying in bed won't be honey, there's something you should know.
Looking up at a girl, looking down at the world.
I don't know what she sees in me. I don't know what she sees in me. I don't know she's in me.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, we are really excited to be here tonight, playing for you folks virtually, through the lens, across the country. I think it's just about probably, just past 5 o'clock out in Vancouver, so I think it is solidly happy hour out there. You're pouring yourself a drink and hanging out with us. Big thanks to the West Vancouver Library for having us at this concert series. We were really excited to come out and obviously play at the library, and then the world happened. So we're still really excited to come play at the library one day, hopefully before too long. We love playing out west, and we usually tour out in Western Canada at least once or twice a year. So as soon as we can, we'll get back out there. But in the meantime, we're just so glad we can keep doing shows like this virtually. We're going to do an instrumental. This is a new one of mine. Like Frank mentioned, we've got a whole whack of new tunes that we're playing. We've been kind of bubbling together for the past few weeks and just working up new material. So this will be one of those new ones. This is called Harefoot's Retreat. On the bridge. 1, 2,
Nice ending chord.
Yeah.
That's not such a bad chord, dude.
Yeah. Del, how about sing a bit of Fernie? Does that work for you?
Yeah. This is a tune I wrote. It's it's just called Bill Fernie, but the story that I heard when we were in Fernie, we've been there a number of years actually, and every time we go there, we have a great time. We play at the Art Station, so shout out to the Art Station. And Mike from Clawhammer Press, if you're watching. Hey, Mike, thanks again for making all of our sweet logos and stuff over the years. But Fernie really is a beautiful town. It's a lot of fun. We've always had a really good time there. It's more than you think. And this tune, I was told by the locals about sort of the story of how Fernie came to be. And I got a lot of sources of information, but when the sun starts to set in the town, probably in the winter too, but mostly in the summer, you can see the ghost rider in the mountain, and it looks like a guy on a horse sort of riding out towards the town. And this song is sort of the story explaining what that's all about.
1, 2, 3.
Billy met his maiden earlier that year. Pretty as the mountains, her beauty was so fair. His eyes are glazed with fireplace, a pretty one-man show. The necklace hung upon her chest, he married her for gold. Whose daughter he loved dear had a little hunch Billy only really loved the rock that she did bear. His eyes filled with sadness, he cursed little Billy's name. Fernie's burned to ashes and floods from the rain. Said and done, we watch the mountainside. I hear him say at night they watch a pain from up on high. Oh, Billy's time is long been gone, but his legend still is on. And as for me, I'll stay right here as daylight turns to dawn. Time is long been gone, but his legend still lives on. As for me, I'll stay right here as daylight turns to dawn.
Too much fun.
And that's the Legend of Bill Fernie, if you understood any of the words.
That's Daryl Paulson playing the guitar and singing for you all. Little streetcar lullaby, perhaps?
Love it.
We're gonna do one of my tunes. My name's Adrian Gross. I'm playing a mandolin. If you're not familiar with this instrument, it's kind of a perfect mix between a fiddle and a guitar.
But it's got 8 strings, it's a mandolin.
It's got 8 strings, it's a mandolin. There's a great song by the great Ken Whiteley describing the mandolin. Is it called the mandolin song? Something like that?
Yeah, and there's a good live video, and he's like, I just wanted to play the song for Mandolin Awareness Week,
That's
which
right.
is amazing.
That's right. Yeah. What is it?
It's tuned like a fiddle or a violin, but it's got 8 strings. It's a
mandolin.
Yeah,
that is it. Yeah, check that out if you want to learn about the mandolin, get some awareness going. But it's a noble instrument. We're gonna feature all of us actually a little bit on this next tune. This is Frank Evans playing the banjo for you all, by the way.
No Banjo Awareness Day today, I guess.
It's always Banjo Awareness Day.
Yes, right.
Be aware.
This is a tune of mine called the Old Streetcar Lullaby, another one of the new ones that we've been working up. And if you want to stay in touch with the group, we're going to be recording a new album in the winter and then hopefully releasing it by the spring of the summer. So please stay in touch. The best way is to go to slocanramblers.com, our website, and just right there you'll see a little spot to sign up for the newsletter. That's the easiest way to stay in touch. And then you can always go to our shop, slocanramblers.com/shop. If you want to grab any merch, we got hats and t-shirts and vinyl records. And yeah, check it out if you would. And you can also follow us on all the social media stuff, and we'll be keeping everyone updated as this new record comes together. But yeah, here's one of those new tunes. The challenge of working up new tunes is that these are all working titles. I believe our last show we looked at the set list and realized that we had 2 songs called Coming Back Home to You or something like that. It was Coming Home to You, Coming Back Home to You.
We used to have I'm Coming Back, but I don't know when.
Yeah, so eventually these songs all blur together.
Good to go now.
Yeah.
Take me, break me, throw down the pieces like an old streetcar lullaby that won't roll no more. You see through me in this ever after like an old stern wheel run aground, the ships run ashore. 2 stars in the moonlight shining so bright. One calls, the other falls. No sunrise in sight. Take me and break me and throw down the pieces like an old streetcar lullaby. It won't roll no more. You see through me in this ever after, like an old stern wheel run aground, the ships run ashore. Moments are restless, they come and then they're gone. The sudden pace of time change and rambles on. Take me, break me, and throw down the pieces like an old streetcar lullaby. It won't roll no more. You see through me in this ever after, like an old stern wheel run aground, the ships run ashore. Each word runs through you 1,000 times or more. The ash burns, the leaves turn, you float back to shore. Take me and break me and throw down the pieces like an old streetcar lullaby that won't roll no more. You see through me in this ever after, like an old stern wheel run aground, the ships run ashore. Like an old stern wheel run aground, the ships run ashore.
Thank you very much.
Nice tune, Adrian. That's an Adrian Gross original.
Thanks, Daryl. It's true.
What if we were doing another Adrian Gross original?
Let's do it.
The one that I was thinking of.
Oh, the one in E?
Yeah.
Okay.
Capo 2?
The one in D.
In D. Oh, the
What's
river
that
one.
one?
The river one.
All right, we're gonna do another one of my tunes.
This one sounds like a lullaby to me, which is why I got maybe a little mixed up.
Fair enough. Yeah, we'll do. This is a tune of mine called. Let's see. It's kind of tentatively called the River Roaming Song, and it's kind of two songs in one. The way it's kind of structured is the main part with the vocals is kind of one part of the tune, and then there's like a fiddle tune which is attached at the end, but is also kind of mixed in as we go. So it's kind of half a fiddle tune and half a singing song all mashed up together. We're gonna get Frank to sing it for you though. We're trying to make this feel like as authentic a show as possible, so it will be probably about 30 to 40% tuning, maybe 20-25% of us just trying to figure out what to play, and then a small amount of music thrown in just for good measure. So
4% song.
that's right.
Math adds up. I thought about it.
You can watch the river float by all day. You can watch the sunrise too. You can see all the leaves that dance in the trees and the sunshine melts the dew. You can see the little creek drip by sometimes as the seasons pass on through. But as long as you're at home, still forever I'm a roaming. I'm coming back home too. Birds in the sky dance high. You can see the loons in two. You can see all the leaves that dance in the trees and the sunshine melts the dew. You can see the little birds fly, shout such chase as the seasons pass on through. But as long as you're at home, still forever I'm a roaming. I'm coming back home too. Big Dipper and the sky shine bright, Cassiopeia and Andromeda too. Catching the night for the sun come to rise and the sky is painted blue. You can see Little Bear in the sky dance high as the seasons pass on through. But as long as you're at home, still forever I'm a roaming. I'm coming back home too. Sunrise too. You can see all the leaves that dance in the trees and the sunshine melts the dew. You can see the little creek drip by sometimes as the seasons pass on through. But as long as you're at home, still forever I'm a roaming. I'm coming back home.
Thank you, thank you.
Hey, I was just going to ask you guys, has anybody read a good book recently?
Well,
I read. I'll just go ahead here.
Daryl, what have you read lately?
Oh, okay. So actually, funny enough, one of the guys in the band recommended this. It was Charles, and it's a book called Here, There, and Everywhere, and it's about Jeff Emmerich recording the Beatles, and a couple funny stories that are funny, hopefully. It's really hard to gauge your reaction here. The one is, they're both John Lennon stories, and at one point, they start plugging Paul McCartney's bass in, and the sound is huge, and you can really hear the bass. It's not kind of buried in the background. It's really present and up front. And John's just blown away by the tone of it, and he says, he's like, how'd you get that sound, Jeff? And Jeff's like, well, we plugged him in, like we took a direct input, like we plugged the bass right in, and we recorded it that way, and that's how you get the sound. And John was so blown away, he asked if he could do it with his voice, which is absolutely impossible because you cannot plug a cord into your face. And the other one was he wanted his vocals to sound like they were underwater, so he asked Jeff if he could put a microphone in a bathtub for him.
Oh, wow.
You gotta ask those questions, though.
Technology was new.
Do you? But anyways, it's a fabulous book, and it's kind of the era of like early Beatles to Sgt. Pepper's and sort of the demise of the Beatles.
Sounds pretty cool.
How are we doing there? Are we?
Play some more tunes.
Play some more tunes?
You read anything, Frank?
Well, the last book I read was on Groucho Marx, actually, which was great. It was his autobiography.
Oh,
it was
geez.
really interesting read, and I did it in 2 chunks. So I read half of it and then put it down for a while, and then just finished it recently. So
Yeah.
highly recommend that.
Sounds like a good one we got. Yeah.
What about you, Adrian? Have you read any good books?
Thanks, Daryl. This is so much fun. It's so funny to do this without an audience. That's what
I know.
laugh about. I feel like we're in a fishbowl here.
Trying to create a vibe.
Yeah, I'm reading a great book. I'm really loving this book. It's called Empires of the Word, and it's about how languages have spread throughout history, and how, just how the kind of big dominant languages have ended up spreading throughout history, often in kind of interesting ways. So I'm currently on the chapter where he's discussing how the ancient Egyptian language and the Chinese language actually spread in very similar ways. And the neat thing about it is it's not always just through conquest. You know, sometimes the empire that takes over somewhere else would spread their language, but often the empire that would take over somewhere else would actually adopt the language of the people who they had just taken over, which is really interesting. That book's been...
Yeah, that's super cool. I'd be curious to kind of see what happened to Latin, you know?
Yeah, well...
I know there's a lot in English, but, like, it's a dead language.
Yeah, I think I'm getting there.
Yeah.
It just kind of developed into all these other things.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's a cool book. What about you, Charles? Going down?
Yeah, well, I read a memoir by the Canadian photographer Michael Mitchell, who passed away recently. He was a good friend of my dad's. And there's some...
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
right. I was hearing about this.
And there's some amazing anecdotes about... Well, they include my dad
No
in
way.
the book.
Cool.
Yeah, some really funny stuff. So I literally laughed out loud on the street, on the street when I was reading it.
Can I put you on the spot and ask what your dad's name is?
Jeffrey James.
Jeffrey
Yeah,
James. People want to check him out.
yeah, photographer.
Great.
Cool.
Super cool, Charles.
Okay, here. So I have a few questions that we have from you folks. Someone was asking us. Well, first of all, actually, somebody won one of our CDs tonight, so we're going to announce the name. And the name is, drumroll, Frank. Carol Mitten is the winner of a Slocan Ramblers CD. So congrats to Carol. Hope you dig it. Don't worry, none of those licks are on the album. It's actually a pretty good record. So hope you dig it. And someone asked if we can tell them where the name the Slocan Ramblers comes from. Who wants to field that one?
We get asked this question quite a few times, especially when we're in British Columbia, and since this is streaming there prominently. So our old bass player, Alistair, actually came up with the name, and he grew up in St. John's, Newfoundland, but he spent all of his summers in Caslow, British Columbia. And they would go hiking in around Sandon, Zinkton, and kind of up a lot of those mountains. And there's actually an old abandoned mine up there called the Slocan Rambler, which we did a hike to.
We did, yeah. We
And
went to the very top.
I was kind of picturing this sort of little hole in the side of the mountain, but this was like a huge operation. There was old rotted out bed frames, soles of shoes, a couple old like tonic bottles and stuff. And
The big time.
yeah, it was the big time back then. But Yeah, I guess Alistair was researching the old railroads, like the Slocan railroads, and how they would sort of, the first one to get the railroad in would be able to export all the stuff and ship it and make all the money. So it got pretty cutthroat at certain points. I believe there was some sabotage going on. But yeah, that's where the name comes from, the Slocan Ramblers. It's an old abandoned mine, sort of near Zinkton, just kind of near Caslow in the Kootenays.
Yeah. Well,
Play one.
a little Tom Petty.
Oh, you know what? I'm actually in Cheap Jeremy tuning, if that's all right.
Okay, yes. We're going to do a tune to Frank right over here. This one's called Cheap Jeremy.
This one is inspired by cheap groceries. I'm a huge fan of when I'm at the sort of local fruit and vegetable market that they always have a pile of one type of vegetable that's on sale because it's going bad. And if you go take it home, cook it up that night, it's the best deal in town. That's
What if you don't cook it that night, Frank?
Well,
You return it the next day.
Yeah.
you guys might be the ones that pay the price. Dig it. 1, 2, 3.
Don't you know, well, here comes Cheap Jeremy. I ain't done no wrong, I ain't singing the song to make you all feel sorry for me. I'm just a regular guy that likes to get by playing to my home melody. He's just a regular guy that likes to stay alive by living off cheap groceries.
Well, one of these days, gonna move on up, but today's not the day for me. He's got his eyes on the prize of a style of life for living in high society, but jumping out of bed makes him crazy in the head, so he better sleep until 3. He's just a regular guy that likes to get by playing to his own melody.
Don't you know, well, here comes Cheap Jeremy. I ain't done no wrong, I ain't singing the song to make you all feel sorry for me. I'm just a regular guy that likes to get by playing to my own melody. He's just a regular guy that likes to stay alive by living off cheap groceries.
Ever believe. He's always got a couple pounds of coupons in the box that is sewed to his sleeve. He got a fridge back home that sits empty. He's got another one in the yard. But every cupboard in his house is filled can't be just cause it's sitting on the value card.
Don't you know, well, here comes Cheap Jeremy. I ain't done no wrong, I ain't singing the song to make you all feel sorry for me. I'm just a regular guy that likes to get by playing to my home melody. He's just a regular guy that likes to stay alive by living off cheap groceries.
And I might choose hell, but I feel like purgatory. Drifting on a cloud, sure sounds swell, surrounded by beautiful ladies, but never one for too much fun, and sure ain't like me. I guess it'll be my decision when I've risen, sure turn to company.
Singing the song to make you all feel sorry for me. I'm just a regular guy that likes to get by playing to my own melody. He's just a regular guy that likes to stay alive by living off cheap groceries.
All right. Cheap groceries.
Cheap groceries.
You gotta ask yourself, though, what does he spend his money on?
This is true. When you're saving the money from not buying the regular price groceries?
He's got some financial financial
Right.
portfolios.
He's a high-end investor. That's what I think Chief Jerry is. He's a shark in the old investment scene.
Should we do a little Tom Petty now?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, folks, Halloween is coming up.
So here's a Tom Petty song.
So we're going to dress up as Tom Petty for this next tune. Yeah, we're big fans of Tom Petty. I think if I could dress up musically as anyone for a day, I'd probably pick Tom Petty.
What era of Tom Petty though?
I'm going top hat.
Oh yeah,
With the buckle, the
Mad
top
Hatter
hat
thing?
Yeah, with the kind of flare on it. You know what I mean?
that's a good era.
What do you think, Daryl?
I was gonna say like jean jacket and dark sunglasses, the like Full Moon Fever era.
That's a good era too.
Oh, like a bandana maybe?
That's a good era of Tom Petty. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of good eras. Yeah, we're huge Tom Petty fans. He keeps us company in the tour van all the time when we can tour. So this is one of our very favorite tunes by the man. It's called "A Mind with a Heart of Its Own." We've just kind of worked up this tune over the last few days. So hope you enjoy it.
1, 2, 3. I remember her standing in the tall grass and cattails, away from the window at the end of the day, watching men from the landing in the tall hats and cattails. She never looked different, but something had changed. A mind with the heart of its own. Yeah, a mind with the heart of its own. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Yeah, a mind with a heart of its own. Well, the man out to end us had a hurricane business. He raised them from babies all by himself. His teenage accountant had become surrounded. He drank up the party and everyone left. A mind with the heart of its own. Yeah, a mind with the heart of its own. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Yeah, a mind with the heart of its own. Well, I've been to Booker, and I've been to Micanopy. I've been to St. Louis too. I've been all around the world. I've been over to your house. You've been over sometimes at my house. I've slept in your treehouse. My middle name is Earl. A mind with the heart of its own. Yeah, a mind with the heart of its own. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Yeah, mine with the heart of its own. Yeah, mine with the heart of its own. Yeah, mine with the heart of its own. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Yeah, mine with the heart of its own. Yeah, mine with the heart of its own.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, folks.
That's a good Halloween song because the lyrics are frightening if you actually listen to them.
What about
Tom Petty so often. I'm going to tune one string here.
yeah, absolutely.
Solo.
How about we'll play a little bit of bluegrass. Want to play a little, this is we're in A, do a little groundhog, does that work? Yeah, it's one of our kind of favorite songs to play. We've been playing it for ages. And a brief story about this song is that we were playing it once. We were doing a workshop for a bunch of kids that were all in sort of younger years, and we didn't really know how many kids were going to be there. We were told they were young, but we didn't really know what age and how many were going to be there. It was at a theater, and we were going to be there Monday through Friday and just do these morning workshops and afternoon workshops, actually. And we show up there, and there's this kind of nice, quaint theater that we thought we were going to do it in, and the stage tech, after he greets us, says, oh, you're going to be in the main theater, which is about 800 seats, and all the kids are going to be in grade 1, and do a 90-minute workshop and make sure they're entertained. And so we actually ended up having a lot of fun. It was great. They would ask us questions, and we got to sort of teach them all about this style of music. But because it was early in the morning and the grade 1s, we figured we might as well do a dancing number. So we did this one and asked them to dance around. And they did, but it went a little bit crazy. They were jumping up in the fire exits and all this stuff, and so it was a bit over the top. So we figured the next workshop we'd sort of tell them to get their energy out, but just stay in the same seat so they wouldn't be kind of all over the place. And they did do that, and we thought we had, just cracked the code in terms of nailing our kids' workshops. But after that workshop, we were congratulating ourselves and hanging out backstage, and the stage tech walked by with a whole cart of broken seats from the theater that had been destroyed by these kids as we instructed them to stay in their seats but be really active. It's sort of a bit of a backwards instruction. But anyways, this is that song. So if you're at home sitting on your own furniture, do as you please and replace as you need.
We did get hired back.
Yeah.
It worked out.
1, 2, 3. Well, shoulder up your musky colored dog. Shoulder up your musky colored dog. We're going to the woods, gonna catch a groundhog. Cupboard and the butter's in the turn. Meat's in the cupboard and the butter's in the turn. That ain't groundhog, I'll be done. Groundhog, groundhog, groundhog. Sally with the 10-foot pole. Here comes Sally with the 10-foot pole. Gonna drive the groundhog from the hole. Groundhog, groundhog, groundhog. Here comes Sally with the sticker and a grin. Here comes Sally with the sticker and a grin. Groundhog grease all over her chin. Groundhog, groundhog, groundhog. Shoulder up your musky colored dog. Shoulder up your musky colored dog. We're going to the woods, gonna catch a groundhog. Groundhog, groundhog, groundhog.
Oh, thank you. How about a little bit of your tune in C, Frank, and then
Yeah.
Bury My Troubles, and then maybe you tell us the next one.
Love it.
Okay, well, this is a new one of Frank's right now. This is a brand new tune that Frank put out. And I should mention that last song called Groundhog is off of our Coffee Creek record, which is our second most recent album. You can grab that on CD format from our shop online or listen to it digitally wherever you listen to music. And and if you're digging what you're listening to, we also got Queen City Jubilee, which is our most recent album. We're playing lots of that music still, and that one's available on CD and on vinyl. If you want to get some good stocking stuffers for Christmas time, grab some vinyl Queen City Jubilee. You need a fairly large stocking, actually, I think. But
Square one.
You're gonna probably want to get one size of all the T-shirts. You're gonna probably want to get all the sizes of all the T-shirts.
one size.
This is why I'm not the Slocan salesman.
And still a large stocking for that.
Yeah.
Paul Bunyan kind of stocking. Picture how big his must have been. That's big. It's big. Or like maybe your uncle's got gout or something, and he has like extra large socks or something. This is getting better and better. All right, we're gonna do one of Frank's tunes. This is a new one that's not recorded yet at all, but we actually just recorded a video for this one, so keep an eye out online, and we'll be releasing this video probably in the next few months. What's this one called, Frank?
Well, it's actually called
Coming back. Won't you come back?
Won't You Come Back Home, which again falls into that confusing category of all these songs are being titled something very similar. So, Won't You Come Back Home is the working title, but, stay tuned. 1, 2, 3. I was living on a mountain with my head up in the air, but you made me come back down again. You couldn't leave me standing there. If I could drift above the valleys and whistle in the breeze, but you're gone away and left me 6 months and 3 days. Won't you come back home, you ever-loving mama, living in a house in the city so cold, all alone like a pine cone drifting down a heavy water stream. Oh, won't you come back to me? Up on a pillow, little pills before I sleep. You're halfway to Athabasca, I hadn't noticed in a week. If I could buy away the heartache, wouldn't have a nickel to my name. All my pockets would be empty, and you'd be right back here again. Won't you come back home, you ever-loving mama, living in a house in the city so cold, all alone like a pine cone drifting down a heavy water stream. Oh, won't you come back to me? Oh, won't you come back to me? Oh, I know the summer's coming and the winter won't be long. Late nights and loud parties couldn't do me any harm. But all the blossoms in the springtime won't bring you back happily. If I could fly above a mountain, if you could whistle to me, won't you come back home, you ever-loving mama, living in a house in the city so cold, all alone like a pine cone drifting down a heavy water stream. Oh, won't you come back to me?
so cold, all alone like a pine cone drifting down a heavy water stream. Oh, won't you come back to me? Oh, won't you come back to me?
Thank you, Fox. A little Bury My Troubles. I'm going to do another new tune of mine. This is one of mine called Bury My Troubles, and it's been fun. We've been kind of spending our kind of Corona times in different ways, but one thing we've all been doing a lot during this whole kind of Corona thing is practicing and writing a lot, and until about 2 weeks ago, we were pretty much practicing on our own and just kind of writing for ourselves. And so this past few weeks we've been bubbling together have been such a joy because, musicians, unless you're like a solo piano player or something, we're social creatures. And as much fun it is to practice on your own, and as interesting it is to have time to write. I don't know about how these guys feel, but I kind of feel like my songs don't really exist unless they're played with a full band. Like I can kind of write it myself, play guitar, write the lyrics down, get everything going, but it doesn't feel like it comes to life until we all play it together. And we arrange all of our music all together. So, when we write a tune, we bring the tune in written, but all the arrangements and all the harmonies and everything happens as a band together. So it's just been so great for the past few weeks to be able to arrange all this stuff. So you're hearing a bunch of stuff that's really new. We've only played this like once or twice before. So thanks for being so forgiving. Here's one of mine, a new one called Bury My Troubles. One, two.
Gonna bury my troubles down on the riverside. Dig me a hole so deep and so wide. You ain't never gonna find me searching in the sand, searching all the while for another man. 3 feet wide and 6 feet deep. You don't have to talk, but you have to speak. There comes the seas to grow, and the worries covered from head to toe. I'm gonna bury my troubles down by the riverside. Dig me a hole so deep and so wide. You ain't never gonna find them searching in the sand, searching all the while for another man. That blooms from March to May. In early spring we'll have it say, blood that fills your venture, in the rings that cause the creeks to flow. I'm gonna bury my troubles down by the riverside. Dig me a hole so deep and so wide. You ain't never gonna find them searching in the sand, searching all the while for another man. Up the hill and through the fog, ain't what you seen but what you saw. And listen to brings you and bear those troubles undertow. I'm gonna bury my troubles down by the riverside. Dig me a hole so deep and so wide. You ain't never gonna find them searching in the sand, searching all the while for another man. Bury my troubles down by the riverside. Dig me a hole so deep and so wide. You ain't never gonna find them searching in the sand, searching all the while for another man.
Oh, thank you.
That is fun.
Want to do a little hair fits and then Daryl's quick one? You say goodbye?
Or Mr. Owl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool. All right, well, I think we got time for 2 more tunes here. If that's all right with you guys out there. Thanks for tuning in. By the way, in case you just you just stopping in with the Slocan Ramblers here, all the way from Toronto, Ontario. Just having a lot of fun playing for you, from our screen to yours. And yeah, just a huge thanks to Taryn and everyone at the West Vancouver Library for putting this on, making these happen. Yeah, this is just such a cool thing. It's been, presenters like Taryn and the library that are just keeping so many artists going these days, and just finding creative, cool ways to put on shows and have artists do what they do, even though we can't really be touring out and hanging out with people face to face. So we're just really grateful that this kind of stuff exists, and it's been kind of cool to see everyone get really creative and find ways to do it, which shouldn't surprise us because that's what artists have always done, but very cool to see it happen. So here's a tune of mine. It's an instrumental, and the possibly working title is Dr. Evil Owl's Delight. It was the name I came up with when I recorded a little voice memo into my phone with the opening riff. And sometimes working titles become real titles, so
I think it's great.
DO does a
Charles digs it. Is that the acronym?
I guess so.
There you
Could
go.
be a good acronym.
It's catchy. All right, here we go. It's Dr. Evil Owl's delight. Yeah, with the Slocan Ramblers, thanks for hanging out with us. This has been a lot of fun. And thanks to the West Vancouver Memorial Library for hosting this amazing event and just for hosting so much cool stuff. We're just, we're just excited to be a little part of what they're doing out there. And a big thanks to Guillermo and Pasha Sound for hosting this. And I know a bunch of other stuff happening in the Toronto area. So big thanks to him, and big thanks to Taryn, and big thanks to you. So stay in touch with the band, and if you want to grab any swag, you can head over to our website and check out the shop there. And stay in touch. We're going to send you off with one last tune, and this is one. What's it called, Daryl?
This is called "You Said Goodbye," and this song's about losing someone really close to you.
Stay safe out there, folks.
Amazing. Thank you so much to Adrian, Frank, Charles, and Daryl of the Slocan Ramblers for this remarkable concert. All of us here at the library know that you went well above and beyond to make this concert happen with Guillermo's help. And you have a standing invitation from the West Vancouver Library if you're ever in town when all this is over and you start touring again on the West Coast. Want to let everyone out there in Etherland know that our next streaming concert will be trying something a little different yet again. Pierre Schreier, a local, well actually from Victoria, Celtic fiddle player, will be performing live in the library's main hall. The date is November 27th at 7 o'clock, so mark it on your calendars. We aren't quite ready to invite an audience back into the building, but when we do, trust me, you will be the first to know. Thank you again to everyone out there for joining us for Live in Your Living Room with the West Vancouver Memorial Library, and have a great rest of your evening. Bye for now.